Hello there people, this is Bruce the Cool Nintenbruce here, and I'm actually making this video as I've had quite a lot of questions and requests for this. This is actually to show you what equipment I use. I was asked, what equipment do I use? How do I attract more subscribers, Bruce? What should and shouldn't I be doing? Well, hopefully this video will wrap up most of those things, but obviously, I could go on forever and ever, and if there's any other questions, put them in the comments section below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can, okay? So, first things first, I think I'll show you my recording equipment, okay? All little bits and pieces to at least get you set up. By all means, you don't have to have all of this, because some of it is quite expensive, to be fair. But yeah, I'll show you what I've got and we'll take it away from there. So, for starters, what you're going to need. You are going to need a games console of sorts. Obviously, pretty much all my recordings are from the Xbox 360, but obviously you could have a PS3 if you own one. There's a Nintendo Wii floating over there, gathering dust unfortunately. You can even do things like, Super Nintendos and stuff if you really wanted to. But at the end of the day, you're going to need a console to play, obvious reasons. If you're planning on doing Let's Plays and stuff from a handheld, be very careful how you do it. Try and do it from either an emulator, for example, if you've got equipment for a screen capture on your laptop or PC. I think there's fraps and stuff like that, but I haven't done that yet. I'll probably investigate that in the future. Try not to record an actual handheld device. It will look shoddy, it'll probably be out of focus, and your fingers will probably be in the way from playing. Yeah, it's crazy. And speaking of which, on that front as well, if you're planning on recording even really big console games from a television and you've got a video camera, it's not the best, but if you have to, try and have your camera dead on screen. Try and have it recording like this, apart from the fact there's glare, that will be a pain. Do not have it, sitting over here, or do not have someone recording doing that. Who the hell's going to watch that? No one's going to watch that. So if you're left with no options, then yeah, have it head on a solid surface, and yeah, just play and see how it goes from there, okay? So in terms of the actual equipment I use, like I said, I've got an Xbox. The capture card itself though, I've got a Poggy or Hapage, however you pronounce it, HD PVR. I got this about over a year ago now, which means I've been recording for over a year, which is quite nice. As you can see on the front, this can take just normal SCART. It's got the cables for HD video as well. It does not have a HDMI cable input though, okay, that's one thing. So if you use an Xbox like me, you're going to have to dig into your actual console box and try and find the wires again. Worst case scenario, I think they're 15 quid if you've lost them, but whatever. So other than that, what comes in the box anyway is obviously the capture card, the normal cables, as well as the cable there which goes into your laptop or PC. And I've been asked as well, it doesn't matter what specifications you've got on a PC or laptop. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't. In terms of how it records and how it looks, that's all to do with not only the capture card itself, how it actually takes down the video, but also your editing software or the software you use to render, etc, etc, etc. So don't worry about your PC. Speaking of which, I'll show you what I've got. I use a laptop, which is super old. I think it's 2 gig of RAM, if that. I think the only real difference is it'll actually make the rendering process longer. Rendering, by the way, is when you've taken your recording, when it's saved it onto your PC from, say for example, my HD PVR, and you go to do editing and stuff, you're gonna have to have some software to be able to do that, okay? Doesn't really matter what software you use. I use Sony Vegas Pro 8.0C. Again, it's old. I don't plan on upgrading either my capture card or my software forever, unless it goes faulty or something like that. You don't have to have the latest equipment to make decent videos. That would come down to how you portray yourself if you're doing commentaries and your actual gameplay. So say for example, if you're constantly getting killed on the first Goomba in Super Mario, why would people watch that? They're not going to do that. They're going to watch a decent gamer. So try and play something you're familiar with, or actually state, I'm doing a let's play. It's that simple. So yeah, anyway, speaking of which, in terms of rendering with software, this is how long it takes with my laptop. So I'm not sure if you can see there, but just for this one match, this is taking nearly 4 hours. It has been longer. I've had 6 hours, 7 hours before. That was a fun one. There's nothing you can do. You know, at the end of the day, the equipment you have to deal with it and work around it. Again, it doesn't mean you should go out and buy a PC which is super good just for recording videos. Yeah, you know, you're going to have to take your time and go from there. And as long as the video turns out great, that's all you need. That's all you need for your channel, okay? So on that front, with Sony Vegas, I mean, I was lucky enough to get it. If you look on YouTube, there are certain ways to get it not so legitimately. I'm not promoting that, but if you want to investigate, that's fine. That's no promotion of cracked software or whatever. I'm just saying you can use that sort of software to record if needs be. By the way, Sony Vegas, I believe, only has a 2 gig limit before it starts making the videos incomplete or whatever. So keep that in mind if you are using Sony Vegas Pro 8 anyway. So yeah, if you're making commentaries now, I'll show you the microphone I've got. Isn't she a beauty? $9.99. In US dollars, probably $15, I don't know. But yeah, you know, it's cheap, but it works. There's no need to spend 80, you know, £100 or whatever on a microphone if you're just going to do YouTube videos. This puts the point across again, you don't have to have the best equipment to just make videos, okay? The only other hint I can give with a microphone is don't put your face right up close to it unless it is a really decent mic, because at the end of the day, whenever you do your pers and your ss, it's going to come up like on the recording, and who's going to want to watch that? You know, I believe the YouTube term is ear rape, so you do not want ear rape in your videos, okay? That is about it. That is all the equipment I use to get my videos, and once I've edited it, made it decent, then I upload it and go from there. On the front of the videos themselves, when creating them, there's a couple of rules you should follow. If you're doing Let's Plays, say for example Pokemon or Final Fantasy, try not to show grinding processes or anything which is stupidly repetitive. So say you're leveling up your... I can't think of a Pokemon name. Say you're leveling up a Pikachu for whatever reason whatsoever, or a Quagsire, they're pretty cool. Then yeah, you know, you don't want an hour's video of just you leveling up. I mean, Jesus Christ, you know, do not do that, do not do that. Cut that part out with your editing software, and if needs be, explain why you're at X level on certain things or whatever. So I hope I drilled that point across to you. Otherwise, people are going to look at it, you know, look at your video and go, right, I want to get to the action, I'm going to look at a different YouTuber. So you've got to look at it in the viewer's eyes, okay? So things you should be doing, as I've just mentioned, is editing out random rubbish. So say you've got distractions, that's a big thing I want to bring up. So telephone going off. If you've got your mobile phone right next to your microphone or laptop or whatever, it'll probably actually record the interference, you know, that or whatever sound it is it does. And especially things like this annoy me. So yeah, you know what you do when I'm recording. Yeah, go back to sleep. So on that front, I can understand that sometimes you might get distractions, like a cat running around and messing around with your microphone. You know, at the end of the day, you can either edit that out or keep it in if it's stupidly funny. But you're not going to want to, say, have a phone go off, your voice being recorded or not recorded while you're taking the phone call, and you're just sat on the pause screen for like 10 minutes. Again, no one's going to watch that. cut that bit out. If needs be, explain why you've paused and go from there. You know, so I hope that helps you guys out there with distractions if it does happen, which it can do. In terms of when creating the video, I think I should go back to the software for a second. So you've got all your equipment, you do your recording, what do you do then? You know, you've edited it and stuff, but you don't know if it's the best or anything like that. I mean, even say my HD PVR, even putting the software that comes with it in, records it on a smaller scale still, or not quite as sharp. Do look at YouTube videos, okay? Look at YouTube videos, look at how to get the best settings. There's quite a few good ones out there. In fact, the one I used, I'll try and put the link somewhere here. Yeah, that got me right as rain and good to go without flapping around and trying to have to mess about with it myself. So yeah, try and do that. Look at things through, you know, the editing software you actually have, and go from there. Speaking of which, again, on the editing software, when doing a microphone, there is a sound recorder option on Windows devices. You don't have to download anything else, just use sound recorder and go from there. And yeah, that's it really. If you're planning on putting music in your videos, do not use famous songs, or in fact any normal registered songs, to be honest with you, because otherwise your YouTube video will get flagged well, by YouTube themselves, and say, oh, your video has probably been taken down for copywriting. If you want, do what I do. I go to places like newgrounds.com to get some pieces of music. As long as you follow their guidelines, then you're fine to put it on there. So I think the main thing is, as long as you credit them, whether it's in the video or in the description, then that's all you have to do to use that music. Another thing is check out other YouTubers themselves who make music. A good guy is DJDS. He's let me use some music before in my Mega Man video, and hopefully I'll be having his music in this video again. But again, you've got to let the YouTubers know, have a chat with them, it helps you both out, you end up with a decent video, they end up with people going to their channel and hopefully subscribing, and yeah, you both win, and hopefully you end up with a fruitful future together or something like that. Okay, so definitely do that. Look at other YouTubers, don't look at the mainstream stuff which would get you in trouble. Now, another thing to put in your videos while doing them, and this is probably the biggest thing, passion. Put passion in your videos, okay? I never take a decent video and put rubbish commentary on it. If I make a mistake, I either apologise and carry on, or I actually redo the commentary, period, okay? You know, again, you know, the video could be looking awesome, but if you're ended up sounding like you're dribbling on the microphone, making all sorts of grammar mistakes and stuff, and sounding really childish, then people aren't going to want to know you, to be honest with you. On that front as well, I have to say that probably the number 2 thing with videos, don't expect to make tons of money. Do not make videos if you're planning to get rich quick. I think I've earned through this AdSense scheme or whatever it is, since I've had it, probably about £3. You know, that just goes to show, and I've got over 100 videos out there now. You know, you have to enjoy what you're doing. Don't treat it as a chore, because again, that would reflect in your videos, okay? So enjoy what you're doing, make sure your videos are quality, and yeah, don't expect to get rich quick. Okay, so I like to think that's quite decent. So if you've done all that and you've uploaded onto YouTube, you think you've probably put a decent description in, etc, etc. But you might find that when you type in the search, like, I'll give you a good example. I've got my most recent video, which I edited and already put up, a Crystal Beast duel against King, I believe it is. It's probably the video right straight before this one. And yeah, when making tags, I could just put, oh, Bruce Be Cool versus King, or Crystal Beast deck versus Zombie deck. But could you imagine the search options that would appear there? There'll be tons of stuff. You want to try and put some more specific things in. And the biggest thing, I'm not sure if you can see it, is actually putting speech marks, you know, on whole words. So for people just searching Bruce would be cool. If I didn't put those commas there, it will probably come up with just normal Brucey's being cool or something like that. So try and put quotation marks or speech marks, I forget what they are, around keywords. So from this now, if I type in, I'm not sure if you can see there, camera might shake because it's quite heavy. So if I put Decade Jewels, oops, would help if you learn how to type as well. Crystal Beast Deck, and what's the first thing that comes up? Oh, it's a video from Nintenbruce a week ago. Crystal Beast deck construction, that's just perfect. And there are other Crystal Beast things below that, but they might not have the same search options as I. And to be honest with you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is quite a small thing in terms of Decade Jewels. There's only a few users like Jumping Productions, he's quite a good guy by the way, and others. So don't be too disheartened if some of your videos at first are at the bottom. If you put in the key options or the key words, your videos will soon go up there, okay? So on that front, I think I've covered just about everything. The only thing I could say as well is for people saying, oh, how do you get more subscribers? You just have to put quality content out there. There's no point begging people to subscribe, because if they don't enjoy your videos, they're going to leave you anyway. I like to think that all you guys out there that have subscribed to me, or hopefully watching this video and want to subscribe, have subscribed to me because you like the content I put up. Yeah, that's the only way. By no means am I famous or anything like that. I've got over 100 subscribers, which by the way, if you haven't seen the tribute video I've done for you guys already, then I'll put the link somewhere here. And I don't think I've put a link for DJDS in terms of music. Do check out his channel, I'll put it over here somewhere. And yeah, you just have to build up your fan base from there. Don't suddenly diss your fans or anything like that. They want to subscribe to you because they like you and your gameplay, not to be abused. I like to think I treat you guys with respect, especially trying to come back to you as soon as I can with any questions. So yeah, treat your subscribers as you would like to be treated. Simple as, it's basic manners, So yeah, I hope that covers it all. Again, any other questions, pop in the description box below. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, what's left to say apart from you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon.